Welcome back to another episode of the podcast. Jumping straight into Samsung is cheating when it comes to taking photos of the moon. So, if you remember, Huawei did this as well. Slightly different, but they did a similar thing where they would take a picture of the moon and overlay it on your picture. Samsung's doing it a little bit differently, where it's not exactly overlaying an image, but it's adding craters and more texture to your moonshot, even if the data wasn't there to start. So the way people figured this out is it seemed originally like Samsung was doing it somewhat how you would expect them to. Then a Reddit user went out of his way and was testing it and put blurry photos of the moon on a monitor and then zoomed in on it, and he would get a clear photo of the moon. So that raised some questions, but it looks like it does work slightly differently. And when I say that, I mean the way it's doing it isn't overlaying the image, it's keeping the color from the original image, even the shape of the moon, just adding detail. So it's doing some kind of AI trickery. There's actually on Samsung's site an entirely detailed out way that they're doing it. And I think this just raises some questions when it comes to AI in photography. I think that phones are going to catch up, not because the quality is going to be as good, but because they're going to be switching out things in your original image or using AI to process it in a way, as Samsung's been doing here. So one of the ways they probably already do this is we've seen it done with people. They also do it for sure with food, and the moon's just one other thing. But I think as this gets more and more advanced, we'll start seeing it in other technology and stuff, other photos and stuff like that. But that said, it's interesting just to see these companies are doing it more and more, and it seems like the iPhone is the only one that's probably not actually doing it at the moment. But who knows? I mean, none of these devices have been super tested out. Apple doesn't tote that they can take photos of the moon with their space zoom or anything like that. So it's hard to really say for sure. But what are some of the potential benefits and drawbacks of using AI to enhance our ability to capture images? The biggest thing that I can say right away is the drawback would be that you're not actually capturing what you think you're capturing. And if they're going to go out of their way to modify images like this, how do you know what you wanted to take the picture of is what you took the picture of? Or is it the real thing? It just draws a gray line. How do you know what's real and what's not real, even more so when it's something you use every day to take pictures or use? I mean, things are changing so quickly, and they're changing even things that we're taking pictures of. It's just kind of wild. The technology is there. They're doing it. It's not hard, and it happens in real time. They just switch things out on you.